Heidi ho neighbors, Radio Goji here, and welcome to the first real part of Let's Play Kamen Rider Climax Heroes O's. We're selecting Kamen Rider Kuuga here, who is going to be our first arcade mode run of the LP. And as you can see, he has 3 battle styles: Form Change, Support Attack, and one we haven't unlocked yet. Those of you who have played this game will know what it is, but I'm not going to spoil anything. We're going to be choosing... in this video we're going to be going through the Form Change style, which allows us to change between each of his 4 base forms. Mighty Form, which is basically hand-to-hand. Dragon Form, which is a bit quicker, I think, but it doesn't have as much attack power, and he attacks with a staff. Pegasus Form, which is mainly a ranged form. And Titan Form, which is slow but can take a beating and use the big sword. Just for the sake of it, I'm going to be choosing Mighty Form as our default, but we can change among the 4 forms as much as we want. And we're going to be starting off fighting Kamen Rider Gadak. Gadak will be using his only battle style, which is Speed Up. So if he ever gets his rider gauge filled up, which is like the special gauge at the bottom, he will be able to slow down time, basically. And there is also a little bit of a delay here, because I am actually playing this game through the by viewing it on the capture thing itself. But I don't seem to be having too much of a problem. Well, the first opponent is always a joke, even on hard mode. So we can, as you can see, our special meters at the bottom are 2 different. I'll explain that later, but they're 2 different colors. Basically, the green means form change, and the blue means speed up. Climax time basically happens when one fighter gets to 1/3 of their health, and basically it starts playing background music from the show of the person who initiated it. In this case, it would be me, because I got him down to 1 health bar left. And basically what happens is each player gets their special gauge filled up all the way, and if you manually charge your special gauge by pushing down, it will charge faster. The battle system is pretty simple. There are basically 3 attack buttons: weak attacks, strong attacks, and special attacks. Special attacks are basically like this flying kick. That's a special attack, or like this kind of kick. And then the triangle button, if you have a full special bar, will allow you to do a super finisher. Unfortunately, Kuuga's form change style does not have a super finisher attack, so we won't be able to show anything off for that. Now, one thing I haven't been showing off is the whole form change gimmick with this particular style. We're going to be fighting Ixa next, apparently. I guess I should go ahead and show off the alternate forms. I don't know what dropped frames means, but I hope that's not bad. Hopefully I won't get too off sync with my commentary, but I can always adjust it if need be. This is actually captured sound. We're not hearing it from the microphone like normal. But then again, this is also just kind of an experiment going on here. This is also what would have... Here's the Titan form. He has a different moveset and has more damage, as well as his combos can't be broken. Like if he gets hit, but that basically is countered by the fact that he can't run. He just walks really slow. Also, if you get hit while you're trying to change form, it won't really initiate. This is Pegasus form, uses a gun. Or bow gun, rather, is the official term that they use, the Pegasus bow gun. And lastly, we got our dragon form here, which is really quick and can do really good, and can really rack up some good combos. You can also combo cancel, which is something I haven't been doing. In the middle of a combo, if you push forward twice, as you can see, we also broke his guard there. It'll cancel our combo and allow us to immediately start another one. There's also a version of this game for the Wii, but they're pretty much exactly the same. In the Wii version, it's actually a button to do the cancel. But I've kind of, you know, I don't have the Wii version because the Wii is region locked, and I don't feel like hacking it or anything, risking it not working anymore. And I was really excited when I found out that this game was coming out for the PSP, because, you know, PSPs are region free, and I don't know if I had mentioned this before in one of my previous LPs, but if something is portable, that just makes it all the better for me. I love portable games. So basically, I have Climax Hero, the original Climax Heroes on the PlayStation 2, and basically I'm getting a better version, a much better version of that on a portable system, you know. I pre-ordered it. There's a lot of drop frames there. Okay, we're going to be fighting D-End now. I really wish I could show off a super finisher for you, but unfortunately I don't have one at the moment. In the next video, we'll be doing the support attack, which does have a super finisher. And unfortunately doesn't have the ability to change forms. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Speaking of support attack, D-End has support attack, as noted by the orange special meter. I also didn't mention it, but Ixa had a red one, which was Power Up. Power Up basically means you only have one other form to change into, but it's a more powerful form, and you need a full special gauge in order to actually change forms. With support attack, it's normally you need 2 segments of the bar in order to summon your support character. In D-End's case, you actually have to have a full meter, and then it drains when you use it. See, he's using Oja on me here. As you can see, it's fairly broken as it is, I guess. It was really broken in the first couple games because it lasted for a lot longer. And when the background changes like that, it basically means that you're in like a super attack or summon mode, and you could only have like one of those at a time. And whenever D-End summoned Oja, because he could only summon Oja, he has a choice in this game, but he can only summon Oja in the first 2 games. That counted as a support attack being used, so you couldn't use your special attack. And they have since with this game balanced it out by nerfing him a bit, but he's still not too bad of a character. I'm not particularly great as him. Actually, I should probably counter his range by going range as well, because as you can see, D-End has a gun. I really don't want to go cheap like that, you know, try to keep it interesting. Also, when you do a cancel, it will take off you do need a bar from your special gauge in order to use a cancel. Okay, range isn't working out as interestingly as I'd hoped. I also kept the timer on mainly because I forgot to take it off, but I really don't care. Arcade mode, I believe, has 5 or 6 stages you have to go through, and it will only choose characters from ones that you already have unlocked. So we're only going to be, until the final stage anyway. So like in this case, we're fighting Decade. And when you're going through the game normally, like we are now, or all the stages before the final one will only come up with ones that riders we have unlocked. But there's a specific there are a few specific ending characters that it will choose from for the final boss, whether we have them unlocked or not. And so basically, at this point, if it comes up with a character that I didn't show off in the last video on the arcade mode character select screen, you'll know we've reached the final boss. And arcade mode really isn't that long. I really should be showing off these other forms more, just to keep it interesting. I think I'll beat him up as Titan form. So yeah, this is our Baldur's Gate scapegoat here. Although I also blamed him for something at the beginning of the Wario Land LP. I think I blamed him for the computer problems. I've been blaming him for the computer problems even in Baldur's Gate. Shots to the face there. So I really hope this turns out well, because this is I mean, I got a Dazzle so that I could play other games other than emulated ones or ones for the PC. And Decade turned into his complete form there. Alright, I guess I'll go ahead and say it. Most of the characters that we have, the styles that we have to unlock for them are power-ups, or power-up ones. And we don't have Decade's power-up style yet, but he's still using it. So he can turn into complete form, which is his ultimate form. And for most of these characters, it's going to be their ultimate form that we're going to unlock. So for Kuuga, we're going to unlock ultimate form later, because it's actually called ultimate form for Kuuga. For those of you who aren't familiar with, those of you who are familiar with this game know what riders are in and what aren't, but for those of you who aren't, no Rising Ultimate Form is not in the game. That was just for, the Kamen Rider Decade movies, and we're not going to be seeing them in this game. Which actually kind of surprised me, because I actually thought that we were going to be seeing that as his ultimate form, not just ultimate. Why did I do that? I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. He's backing me up into a corner. So I guess I should be talking a little bit more about who Kuuga is. Kuuga is actually the only rider from his series. So I think his story basically revolves around these monsters called the Grongi, who are basically hunting down humans for whatever reason. I haven't actually seen the entirety of Kuuga yet. I think I've seen up to episode 10. I really should get around to watching it. But the Grongi are going around killing people. And they were originally sealed before in ancient times by a warrior called Kuuga, who represented the Linto tribe, who humans basically descended from. Oh, Kamen Rider Blade here. For those of you who have actually visited my channel, this is the guy I kind of use as my avatar picture thing. Yeah, just saying. Anyway, the Kuuga's belt basically falls into the possession of Yusuke Godai, and Godai decides that he wants to use the powers of Kuuga to help protect everyone's smiles. And that's basically Kamen Rider Kuuga for all I know. I don't know too much else past episode 10-ish. I don't know the exact episode I've actually seen up to, but it was basically after the two... I've seen up to the... up through the 2 episode story arc where he gets Pegasus form. As you can see, we're getting to the harder enemies now. We're fairly far into it. And Blade, from how I play with Blade, he's very good with canceling combos. And Blade is actually one of my better characters. But unfortunately, we're not playing as Blade yet, so I'm going to probably die here. And because Blade initiated Climax time here, it's playing his little song here. And normally in this kind of a position, I would try to, spam my finisher as much as I can. But as I said before, we don't have a finisher with Kuuga right now. At least not for this battle style. So I'm probably going to go with a good defense here as Titan form. And basically play out a war of attrition with Blade, because as in other fighting games, if time is up, whoever has the most health wins. So even if we can time him out, we can win. This is probably going to be a record-setting video here. I actually thought that yesterday's Zelda part was going to break that, but then I found out that after cutting out 8 minutes of me wandering around, it actually only ended up being about 15 minutes anyway, so... And I do plan on finishing Zelda today. Keyword plan. If I don't get around to it, I won't get around to it, but... basically what I have to do with Zelda is just beat the final dungeon, and I'll be done with that. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Titan form for Blade here. I'll probably stick with Titan form for the rest of the game, because the lag doesn't really seem to be affecting me that much. The lag, the delay isn't that bad. It probably would be a little easier if I just played off of my TV using some audio-video splitters, but I currently don't have those, and I really didn't feel like setting it up that way, so... This is just as easy for the moment. Maybe when we get to games on consoles that actually have, like, wireless controllers that have a delay all their own, I'll probably do that. I mean, for the PSP, looking at it on this kind of a screen, it really isn't that big of a deal to me, but when we do get to playing games on actual consoles, there's a good chance that I want to do that for, get the splitters or whatever, for games that I actually want to play on the TV. Now, basically what he was trying to do there is use his super finisher, and if I wasn't blocking, it would have given me a chance to do a final reflect, in which I would go into a button mashing contest with him. And whoever wins the button mashing contest gets to do their finisher. But in this case, since I don't have a finisher, it would just basically have me do the, like the alpha counter animation like that. And I say alpha counter for lack of a better word. Or better term, I should say. I think we have one more before the end, or this is the end one. No, we have to fight O's. I think this is like the second to last matchup here. We'll have to see how this turns out. And O's really is it's really interesting how O's works with all of his little metal combinations, but I'll get to that when we get to O's in, say, 5 years, because of all the other characters we're going to be going through first. O's is probably going to be the last character of the current group that we're going to be doing, because I'm basically doing them all by series in which they debuted. I'm going to do the main rider and then the secondary rider. So, after I'm done with Kuuga, I'm going to do Agito, and then after I'm done with Agito, I'm going to do G3X before I go on with Ryuki, so... There you go. But, I am really looking for... I love using O's because of how versatile he is. Same thing with Double. I love the way that their form change styles work. Because with Kuuga's, the way it works is... Because with all of these, with these special, battle style special abilities, you use the analog pad. I would say analog stick because that's what it's called over here, but it's more of a pad anyway. So there you go. Or analog nub. We could say analog nub. Anyway, the way Kuuga's works is each direction on the analog nub, analog pad, corresponds to a different form. Up is Mighty, down is Dragon, left is Pegasus, and right is Titan. But because of the way double and O's work with their form changes, they're a little more complicated. As you can see in the bottom of the screen, O's has 3 metals that he can switch between, that he basically has different options for. So, but as I said, we'll show O's off when we get to him. And each of these combinations does have a name. It's really not too hard to, oh, he's gonna go to Sagozo. Sagozo is like one of those, kind of like Titan. I should probably change the Titan for Sagozo. But once you get like the entomology of the names down, it really isn't that hard to figure out what the combos are going to be called, because it's based on exactly what models. He's using the Gata Kiriba combo right now, and I'll get to what that means later. I always freak out a little bit whenever it goes to Gata Kiriba because I can abuse the hell out of Gata Kiriba, at least against the computer a lot of the time. He hasn't turned to Latarata yet, though. I'm sure that some fans would want to. Some fans of Latarata would want to see those. I think it's fairly much the consensus right now that Sagozo is everyone's favorite combo, but you know, I've seen a lot of fans of Latarata. If you're a Kamen Rider O's fan, what's your favorite combo? Not necessarily in regards to the game, but in regards to the show. Put it down in the comments. Or don't. You know. It's your choice. Yep, Kamen Rider Odin. He is one of the writers from Kamen Rider Ryuki. And he's the final boss this time around. So as you can tell, we don't have Odin unlocked, so he's obviously going to be the guy we're going to fight. I'm going to change to Titan so that we could at least try to win a battle of attrition against him. That's basically what I use Titan mode for, is if, when the opponents really start getting tough, I can at least get some really good attacks on them, and especially considering that my combos really can't be broken with the super armor on, which is like a fighting mode term for if your combos can't be broken, is super armor. Or super armor up to a certain number of hits. I think it's like 3 or 4 hits, and then they can break my combo, but for the most part, it really can't be done. And I've pretty much, you know, trained myself to fight in hard mode. Because in normal modes, from what I had seen, a lot of times they don't do anything. They'll sit there and wait for you to... Well, either that's easy mode, or that's just like, you know, the first couple fights in the stage. But I've, you know... Either way, I've gotten used to playing in hard mode, so that's how I've chosen to go about doing it. And yeah, I actually made a conscious decision to use a blank memory stick with this, so I can, you know, show you how to unlock all the characters. I do have, my main memory stick does have all the characters and all that unlocked, and it's a Ragnarok mode can get a little repetitive at times, but it's pretty fun. And I'll look forward to showing that off, although it'll be probably 50 years before we reach it because of all the arcade moding we have to do first. And even then, we're going to get breaks in Ragnarok mode every time we unlock new characters and styles. But I explained all this already. I just want to show off every single character as much as I can. I want to show the hell out of this game because I love it so much. It's not my favorite game, but... you know, I was, you know, waiting with bated breath for this game, like, for months. I pre-ordered it. I got impatient when, like the day I was supposed to get it. I was like waiting. I waited until like 5:30 in the afternoon when they finally came by and delivered it. I guess we can go ahead and show off the credits here. This is what the credits look like. The credits never change. This is supposed to be some sort of throwback to an NES game, I believe. But, you know, O's, of course, wasn't in it, but, and then it's basically just this. But I always want to show off the credits, like, you know, give people, give whoever made the game credit. I can't read a lot of this, but, as far as Japanese goes, I can read katakana and I can read katakana, no problem. I can read a lot of the hiragana, but not all of it. And even then, like I wouldn't know a lot of Japanese words unless I sounded them out first. And I know like maybe 2 or 3 kanji. And that's my extent with Japanese. And I like know a few select words and phrases from what I've seen, like in the shows I watch. But other than that, yeah, I'm not fluent in the language in any respect. But yeah, that was arcade mode. That was our arcade mode run with Kamen Rider Kuuga's form change battle style. I would have liked them to put a finisher in, because I mean I really don't see why there aren't finishers. Like there are quite a few riders that don't have finishers for one reason or another, and quite frankly, I didn't think that Kuuga would be one of them. I mean, his other 2 styles do have finishers, to be fair. But there are quite a few other riders that have like 3 styles, and each of those styles have a finisher with it. Double and Deno come to mind. So I don't see why they just didn't do like a, you know, even a just mighty kick would have sufficed with me. But that's just my opinion. I'm not going to fault it for that. No, it's just nitpicking. So that'll do it for this video here. This is going to be, yeah, this is definitely going to be. Oh, we unlocked stuff that we don't really care about. We just unlocked some stuff in gallery mode that I'm really not going to show off. I really don't care that much about it. Game is saved. Yeah, this is going to be our first like 30-minute video. So, that was that, and join me next time. Just head back into the character select real quick, and let it load, I guess. And next time we will be Kamen Rider Kuuga again. Although next time we'll be using the support attack style. What will the support attack style be like? Well, stay tuned and find out. I've been Radio Goji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?